this is Kina Knisley with Team K Squared of Keller Williams, and this is Real Talk about real estate. And today I have Francis De Castro from Los Angeles. I'm super excited. I've known him for years, and I'm so glad he's on with me today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. So
Hi, Kina. Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited to talk to you. So, what area do you cover? I mean, I know Los Angeles is huge. So what area, like if we want to send you a referral, how far will you drive?
So I always tell people I'm willing to drive an hour and a half away from traffic in LA. So that could either mean 60 miles or that could mean 5 miles. It just depends on the area, really.
Same here. It can be an hour and
Yeah,
a half to Eva, or it can be 40 minutes.
yeah,
It's 3 hours around the island without traffic. All day
yeah.
traffic.
That's my radius. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's so is LA different counties, or is it one big county, or
So LA is kind of sectioned off into different areas. We have primarily like three counties here, Los Angeles County, Inland Empire, and Orange County. But certain areas have different kind of places where that offer different things, right? Where Beverly Hills is still a part of LA, but it's a different part of LA,
oh yeah.
right? Yeah, so we have different sections and different parts for everything that you kind of need in LA. Yeah.
So are the I went to Beverly Hills once, and I did your little, well, I guess that's Hollywood. I did the little walk, and it's kind of dirty in Hollywood.
Yeah, it
I
is. Yeah.
stopped. But then we went to Beverly Hills, of course, and drove around and went in the bougie shops. We have the same shops here, but I can't shop in them. I don't care how many houses I
Me
sell.
neither.
I'm not spending that much money on a pair of shoes with the red heels that I can't even walk in. So I am like, no, thank you. Give me my famous footwear sandals any day. So don't tell anybody. I'm just cheap. So, but do the stars still live in Beverly Hills? Or is
Yeah,
that just cliche and they don't want to live there anymore?
they do. Yeah. A
Really?
lot of them live in areas where it's blocked off and closed off, right? Typically it's harder to get into. It just depends on the level of celebrity that you are, right? If you're, let's say if you're work behind the scenes like a producer or, something like that, you would probably be in the hills or close to the hills by the Los Feliz area. There's some parts of LA where it's kind of secluded and you only know where it is if you know someone there, right? So there's that. And then there's another secret part by the foothills where the ultra rich live. I think it's probably the most expensive area code in all of California.
Is
Yeah,
that
so
9-6? What kind of a show when I was a teenager? What,
oh,
9?
90210.
Yes. Is that
So
is that
so
the
there's an No,
oh.
it isn't. So there's another part of LA called Bradbury
Oh.
where it's like the old it's in the forest and you have to kind of go through the gates and all of that, but that is where the rich live in LA. I mean, Beverly Hills is nice, Bel Air is cool, but Bradbury, if you live there, yeah.
God.
So there's other pockets of LA where people kind of build big homes for privacy reasons.
Yeah. No. So
Yeah.
okay. So if I want a home in Bradbury, how much am I looking? How much for a
Maybe
down payment?
like 12 million.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Now we have those houses too, and they're not blocked
Hmm.
off. 12 million. We go, I mean, our ultra luxury is like we have a $50 million. There's a $50 million listing in Beachside right now, and it's not blocked off. You can drive right up to it. Of course, it's been on the market forever, so it's probably overpriced.
Yeah.
We've got one in the hills of Kaneohe, 16 million. I did a video there. The agent was very gracious. It's like, come in and do some social media. I mean, the video, I'm sitting in the bathtub. Because there was a massive bathtub. I just had to show her that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's crazy though. I mean,
Yeah.
so is it like tech people living there too, or just kind of the producers, the writers, the directors, the stars, or
So it's primarily the ones who employ them.
oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
That
not
kind of
just
money.
ultra rich. So I was talking
Yeah.
to Jose in Fort Lauderdale, and he sold a $14 million listing. Full, double-sided it. Go Jose. But he told me that in Fort Lauderdale, they are selling one ultra luxury, or yeah, 12 ultra luxuries a year is their average. So they may have 50 ultra luxury listings, but he was one of the 12 that sold last year. So that was like,
Nice.
so how often do those, because that would be ultra luxury, even here, 12 million would be an ultra luxury listing. How often are
Well,
houses selling? Do they turn over quick or do they sell fast or?
not really. So, because LA has a mansion tax where any home that's within LA proper gets taxed heavily over $5 million. So,
Oh,
our ultra luxury market took a really, really big hit a couple years ago. Yeah.
how much is a
Um,
how much is a mansion tax? That's crazy. But
uh, I don't quite remember because it's not really in my
yeah,
wheelhouse
it's not
of
my thing.
things. Yeah, but it's enough for the market to completely crash.
Wow, that is
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that's no, I mean I we talked earlier that I'm just the common man age and I'm not luxury certified in Hawaii because my clientele are 800 to 1.5 million, just the commoners.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't touch those big price points either. Every once in a while I'll get a 2 million and do a happy dance. But
Yeah, I'll be happy with that. Yeah, that's
yeah,
cool.
I mean, that's pretty good. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
so what is the quirkiest thing about your area? Because this is a new theme of my show. I just want to know the weird stuff. I want to know about mushrooms. I want to know about camels. So, what's the weirdest thing that's ever happened in your market, or the weirdest thing about your area?
So a long time ago, I did an open house across the street from the Manson house,
Oh my God,
where,
weird.
yeah. So an agent of mine told me he was doing an open house for a lease, in Los Feliz. And Los Feliz in Los Angeles, if you know the area really well, there's stories about every home, right? Because a lot of stars have lived there before in the past. And when I went to the house, I looked around and I thought, oh, this is a nice neighborhood. There's one house right in front where it's completely fenced off, right? And those homes don't have fences in the front. There's no metal fences because, it's the luxury high-end market. They don't have that, but this house did. And I looked around and I'm like, why is that going to be demolished? Is that going to be what's going to happen there? And then the agent told me, no, that's the Manson house. If you see above there, like that's Google the Manson house and then look at that house right there. It's the same thing.
Oh
And
my,
so for the next 2 hours, I was just researching the Manson house and what they were doing with it. And all throughout the years, there have been people that would go in there and trespass and have parties or do drugs and stuff. And, we would just see the grounds being unkept sometimes. Um, it wasn't until some years ago where they put it up on the market and they sold it for, I think, 1.2 or
somebody
1.1, and it
bought it,
sold. Yeah, yeah.
tear
Oh,
it down, or
I don't know. I have no idea. But here's another one for you. I think you'll kind of like, maybe. I don't know. Um, so I think it was a year or two ago, Walt Disney's home
oh,
was put on the market. Yeah. And it's over like in LA. So in LA, in the Trader Joe parking lots are always packed. It's always a thing here, right? So the Trader Joe's and so yeah.
we don't have one. So if you want to send me some,
Okay.
my kids take
Um,
care of me.
Yeah, it's the best. It's gotten me through a lot of hard times,
Oh yeah,
really.
it's the
Yeah.
but so
So
what happened with
the
Disney's house?
so when it came on the market, we all were clamoring to kind of get in there because it's a historical home.
Yeah.
Yeah. You would see trinkets of the beginnings of the Disney company
Hmm.
inside. Yeah, yeah. I didn't get a chance to go in because I think you had to I forgot the process to see the house, but I,
They
I remember
probably
there was
we
yeah, it
had
was
Robin's Nest from the old from Magnum PI when you were a child. um, and Tom Selleck would go to Robin's Nest. He lived at Robin's Nest. So that was on the market, and you had to
wow.
jump through hoops. I never went to visit either because you had to jump through so many hoops. They wanted, proof of
Yeah.
Obama bought it. So that's where Obama bought it, tore it down, and built his compound. So
What?
yeah, so he bought the old Robin's Nest from the old Magnum PI.
Wow.
Yeah, and then now he's got, and it's you can walk by it because the beaches are not private here. They're public beaches. So you can get out and walk. It's kind of a hump because there's not a lot of parking around there. So
Yeah.
you can walk by it and see his compound. And then he comes every so often. He was here over Christmas. Somebody took a picture of him at Buzz's. So yeah, I saw him in San Diego. I went to the gym at the Hilton. We were there for a conference across from the convention center. And there was something going on at the convention center, something G something. I don't know what it was, some big political thing. I'm not political at all. Um, and you can tell because I'm in the gym and I it's like 6:30 in the morning. I go down and there's these two dudes in black suits standing outside the gym. And in my mind, I kind of went, huh, I wonder if they're going to buy the Hilton. Maybe they're investors because that's how I think. I'm a realtor. I want to sell.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm like, huh, that's weird. Why are they so dressed up? Maybe they're going to buy the Hilton. Maybe they're just looking it out and they're investors. I go in and there's this dude working out, right? And I get on my Peloton and I'm actually wearing the Honolulu Marathon shirt. So there's
Okay.
Kamehameha, the statue of Kamehameha on the back of my shirt. I look over
Hmm.
at the dude working out and I kind of went, huh, he kind of looks like Obama, but he's way too skinny, right? And I look over again and he kind of gives me a little head bob, right? Because he saw the shirt. And he kind of went, and I was like, I didn't say anything. Then the dudes in the suits walked in. So it was only the two of us in the gym at that point. And the dudes in the shirts, in the suits walk in and they walk over to him. And I went, oh, shoot. I actually said a dirtier word than shoot, but I don't want to have to beat me out. I said, oh, shoot,
Yeah.
it is Obama and that Secret Service. Yeah, I felt like an idiot. I was like, but I didn't say anything because I thought, let the man work out, give him some peace.
Yeah.
Super skinny. I thought he was chunkier.
You did?
But I did. He looks chunkier. I think the camera adds 10 pounds. Remember that, everybody? It's adding 10
Yeah. At 10
pounds.
pounds.
Yeah. So it was just kind of funny. And then, but I think he gave me the head bob because, right, he's grew up, he grew up here. He worked at Baskin and Robbins right down the street from my house. And his grandma lived in a little apartment complex behind Baskin and Robbins. And then he went to Punahou, which is right by my house. Um, so I think he just saw the shirt and was kind of like, oh, hey, that woman's been to Hawaii. So she's dumb enough to do that marathon.
That's
But
awesome.
I didn't. I did the start to park. I don't do the marathon. I'm not crazy. I'll
That's
do,
awesome.
but no. So it's just kind of weird, like who you see and stars. So, like, do you see a lot of stars running around LA? I wouldn't recognize them.
Um, I do, but I don't say anything. I leave them
Yeah,
alone. Yeah.
I think they
Because
want to be left alone. We were at breakfast a while back at this. We go down barefoot. It's just this little outdoor breakfast place on the beach. And I don't know who it was. It was some basketball player. Well, my husband goes, that's so and so. And I was like, he was with his wife and his nanny. And we go quite often because you can take the dogs. And he was there almost. He must have been here for a month or so because he was there a few times. And everybody in line was like, "Oh my God, that's so and so. That's so and so." But I don't know who it was. Some basketball player. So we get them in Hawaii too. And
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I never, when I don't recognize them, I don't stay on, TMZ long enough to know what these people actually look
Yeah.
like without makeup you know. So if a normal person wants to come and buy a home in LA, and we're not stars and we're not paying $12 million, what can I buy a single family home there for? Because I'm just,
Depending on the Well, it depends on the area. It depends on what you want from the area, right? You can go to the valley and get a really simple starter home for about 800, like a good decent. You
oh,
can maybe add in your fixes or do something to the house and not necessarily, break the bank, right? Then there's other areas where the school districts are 8, 9, and 10,
oh,
where a single family home could be 1.2, 1.3.
wow. So when we say
Yeah.
8, 9, and 10, that's from smart schools, right? Is it
That's
smart?
for the schools where it's not necessarily as good. And
Yeah,
then
it's a
as
rating that you can look up
yeah.
and get schools because as
Hmm.
realtors we can't say you don't want to live there if the school is trash.
Yeah.
Can't say that,
Yeah.
but we can send you a link to a website that will tell you that school is trash.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
if you want an 8, 9, or 10 for, I mean,
Yeah.
I do. I would as a parent. I'd want at least 8 or up. 7 below,
Yeah.
you're getting a little shaky. We have school districts with a 0 out of
Oh,
10.
really?
Yeah, so
Mm.
cheap homes, and I will
Yeah.
get buyers saying, "Hey, I want to look there." I'm like, yeah, here you go. Look at this website before we go look at that house.
Yeah.
And it's so sad because 10 minutes away, they're a 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
The prices go up $500,000.
Yeah.
So
It's dramatic, dramatic shift. Yeah.
no, it's just, but it matters. So it matters where you buy, even if you don't have children, right? If you want to think about resale, you got to still look at the school district. Even at our age, we don't have school age children. But I had to look. I had to know. Okay, there's private schools nearby. The schools are just okay. I think it's a
Mm-hmm.
down the hill from us,
Mm-hmm.
but there's a lot of private schools. So
So the reason why my range is so far is because there's some parts of LA and Orange County where the school districts are so good that, it makes more financial sense just to move there,
yeah,
right? As opposed to going the private school route or the charter school route where you may have to pay for something.
yeah, you got to look at
Yeah.
what are you going to pay per year. So Puno has $36,000 a year. So if your kid is going to do K-12, you might as well buy closer to here and just a little cheaper home and yes, offset the cost of schools and build equity because I mean you are building equity when you're educating your children, I guess. Hopefully,
Yeah, you
hopefully they
are.
go off and do something. So but, well, this has been totally awesome. So if you know anybody moving to LA, I'd love to get you connected, or I'm sure you can Google Google his contact info because I was looking to see if you had it on your page, but you don't. Some people put a little banner. But we'll throw his contact info up there, and I would love to get you connected. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Kina. Thanks for having me.